Hello everyone, welcome to my talk for eLex 2021. My name is Sander Stolk. I will start my presentation. There we go. My talk for today is titled Scribbling in the Digital Margins, Annotating and Extending Published Lexicographic Works with Evoke. The overview or outline of this talk will be as follows. I will first start off with scribbling in the margins, so annotating, from a historical perspective to the present day, from ink to internet. Then afterwards, I will start talking about a new approach for annotating, for extending lexicographic works. And this takes the form of creating personal copies in a web application called Evoke. Now, I want to detail here some of the requirements that were there, the architecture that's in place, the implementation that exists today, and the impact and use for this specific approach. And of course, I'll end with a short conclusion. So, from ink to internet, extending lexicographic resources. Extending resources has been as common in the past as it is now. In medieval times, for example, manuscripts with content were not uncommonly annotated, especially in settings of learning and education. Annotations often expressed points of interest, markers or critique, or depicted here, the ability to have comments of teacher and student visible alongside each other in columns specific for the purpose. Text copies, such as these, are known to have circulated physically in order to share remarks, copy them, and respond to them. Each text copy was, in that sense, unique, a personal copy, as it were. Still, this method of extending resources was by no means perfect. The transition from ink to internet provided us with functionality powered by the electronic environment, faster searches, more advanced analyses, and so on. Indeed, lexicographic works available on the web have a lot to offer their users. The remotely accessible functionality ranges from browsing entries and performing searches to, in some cases, drawing statistics from the lexical facts contained within. A function that we seldom see in publications of dictionaries since the move from ink to internet, however, is that of fashioning such personal copies. Where owners of a printed copy are able to annotate and expand their copy, circulate the result amongst peers, and stimulate a dialogue, users of electronic editions often have to resort to private bookkeeping in a separate file, or, in some cases, to use a public commenting system that requires moderation and may well end up, visually at least, cluttering the website. The following two slides contain examples of such lexicographic resources and their approaches for annotation. In this slide, we see, for instance, the Historical Thesaurus of Scots, which sports its own online database for storing and retrieving user comments, here shown at the bottom from a user called Desky and Susan Rennie. Now, another approach is to use a similar system, but hosted by an external organization, hosted elsewhere. So here we have Merriam-Webster, a dictionary that is available online, where a functionality of Facebook for commenting has been made available in here. These web-based solutions, however much they bring to the table, tend to come with barriers and drawbacks for both publishers and users. Publishers, for instance, often need to host the content, or even if the content is hosted by an external organization, provide moderation over user content to ensure their website is not proliferated with undesirable comments. For users, it is often the case that they first need to create an account before commenting. Their comments tend to be solely textual in nature instead of allowing for labeling, for instance. And as annotations are often made visible to the entire user base, these indeed may end up visually cluttering the website. This paper then presents an alternative approach. One that explores the creation of digital personal copies. And these are implemented, as mentioned earlier, in the web application Evoke. So we will see that in practice too. Now, first we will detail the requirements set out for annotating and extending resources, which attempts to combine the best of both worlds and leave out some of the major drawbacks. So trying to offer the ability in annotating and expanding resources to circulate the results amongst peers and stimulate a dialogue within a group. Without, however, as we see in most of these annotating functionalities presently, without demanding resources such as moderation, a need for hosting, need for first creation of user accounts, etc. And hopefully, without cluttering the website visually, without having users risk license breach by duplicating information or taking valuable engagement elsewhere, instead of on the original website on which the lexicographic resource is actually presented or hosted. As mentioned, the approach of digital personal copies has been implemented in the web application Evoke. This application allows for users to open up the story and offers functionality to browse and search for content, as can be seen in these two slides, but also to expand on the original content, to combine it with other sets. So here with information from Beowulf, Andreas, or others, and analyze the results of these combined sets basically using more advanced statistics. So what is this the approach specifically for extending, for creating these digital personal copies? On this slide, I present the architecture in Evoke that has been used specifically for this purpose. As with many electronic lexicographic resources, an online repository or database is used to store lexical data that is fetched and, through a web application, displayed to the user in their internet browser. User annotations, however, as we can see on the right, do not need to be stored in an online repository. Instead, such editions are stored inside the user's internet browser, using a mechanism called web storage. There, user content, in terms of annotations in this case, are stored and stored using this standard within HTML5 for web storage. Users will see their own added content then alongside the original material. And on the next slide, we will see this architecture put into practice in the web application Evoke. Here, each bit of data, such as a word or word sense, is identified through a web address. This is one of the main principles of linguistic linked data. It allows us to link data in a similar way as we do web pages. Annotations in Evoke are indeed linked to the original data, stored using the standardized form of web annotations. Moreover, the use of hashtags, as mentioned earlier, in textual comments in Evoke will automatically generate these labels. This can offer users the means to add some salient features by means of labeling, and therefore also more easily exploring which of these words or word senses have been labeled with their specific label. Indeed, Evoke provides users with full control over users' annotations and tags. Users can make file backups, share these, review ones made by others when opened on the website of the original electronic dictionary. Moreover, as these user editions reference rather than contain the original content, the functionality in Evoke ensures users still abide to licenses that prevent users from downloading original dictionary content. Thus, researchers are able to engage in open science, are enticed to interact directly with the dictionary, and remain engaged with the original website of the lexicographic work for viewing their editions in unison with that which they annotated. As the annotations are digital, explicit, and interpretable alongside the dictionary content, Their form is highly suitable to utilize in any additional service that the publishers or lexicographers of the work may provide, be it paid or at no charge, be it advanced analyses or further refinement. The ability to extend a lexicographic resource in Evoke has been used in a research project by the name of Exploring Early Medieval English Eloquence, in which 70 scholars from various fields and from institutions across Europe engaged with the early medieval variant of English by extending a thesaurus of Old English, using this specific means of annotating. Their work will be made available in a special issue of the journal Amsterdammer Beiträge zur alten Germanistik. This is published, will be published by Brill in fall 2021. So, concluding, the approach taken in Evoke to provide personal digital copies has been demonstrated to navigate concerns of both users and publishers in providing functionality for scribbling in the digital margins of electronic lexicographic works. The value of this architecture was demonstrated through use in research and education and will be easy to implement for other works. Indeed, the source code of Evoke will be made public using an open license. And we can see the URL of Evoke here at the bottom right, so feel free to try it out. And again, the source code will be made open license, including this architecture specifically meant for annotating and extending lexicographic works, using this mechanism of digital personal copies. This concludes my presentation, and thank you all for your attention.